Hey folks, this is a discussion of the lesson for Wednesday, the 25th of March. And what we're going to be doing today and tomorrow, actually, so this is a 2-day lesson, is finishing our outlines. So yesterday you started an outline that includes your thesis statement, 3 reasons, at least, 1, 2, 3, and evidence, at least one piece of evidence per paragraph. What you're going to do today is add on reasons, and I'll show you how to do that. So the first thing you want to do is, for each piece of evidence, you're going to hit Enter or Return and then Tab to create a sub bullet point. You can also do it using these two buttons here, which goes backwards for the bullet point or forwards for the bullet point. Now, underneath each piece of evidence, you want to explain, how does this evidence support my thesis? So Gatsby says he wants to repeat the past. How does that show that Nick is responsible for Gatsby's death? I'm going to highlight that just to remind us that that's what I'm talking about. Well, I might say here, and I'm just going to take some quick notes, Gatsby wants to do something that is impossible, and that's repeat the past and to be with Daisy. Now, Nick knows this is impossible. And also, Nick doesn't stop Gatsby. He lets him think it's possible. I'm going to add an arrow here. This leads Gatsby to destructive things. Like what? Well, Gatsby tries to break up Tom and Daisy. And I'll put here too, if Nick had told Gatsby, or Nick does kind of say it's not possible, if he had convinced Gatsby it wasn't possible, maybe Gatsby would have moved on. Look what I just did. I have 4 pieces of analysis here for my 1 piece of evidence. And I've got another piece of evidence in this paragraph. Gatsby wanted to be with Daisy. Gatsby wants Daisy to say she never loved him. How does that show that Nick's responsible? Well, Gatsby only says this because Nick tells him that Daisy has feelings still. Gatsby sticks his foot into Tom's, I'll abbreviate, Tom and Daisy's relationship. This is dangerous because we know that Tom is violent already. So this is kind of what your outline is going to look like today, folks. Yesterday you had your reasons and your evidence, and today for each piece of evidence you need to have at least 2 bullet points of what you want to say about that evidence. Think about, how does my evidence support maybe my topic sentence or my reason? How does my evidence support my thesis? And you're going to jot down notes here about how your evidence supports your thesis. In other words, what are you going to say about this evidence? How are you going to show the significance of this evidence? So by the end of Thursday, you have 2 days to do this. By the end of Thursday, I'm going to write it down here so you can see it. Your outline must have a thesis, obviously, 3 reasons, and then I'll say 2 analysis notes per reason. That's what's going to have in total. The better you do on this outline, folks, the better that you will do overall. I'm going to add something too. You must have a counterclaim paragraph. Now, this is not here yet, so I'm going to add one. The counterclaim is going to sound like this. Some people may argue that, and now we're going to put someone else. So if I'm arguing that Nick is most responsible, I might say some people argue that, let's say, Daisy. No, I'm going to go Tom. That Tom is most responsible for Gatsby's death. And then what I'll do down here is put some evidence. Let's say 125. Tom tells George that Gatsby killed Myrtle. And then I'm going to do my analysis. Why does this show that Tom might be most responsible? Well, Tom let George, who was violent and angry, think that Gatsby was the killer. George goes out and shoots Gatsby. Therefore, Tom is responsible. And then I also have to shoot it down. I'm going to abbreviate that shoot it down. Although Tom gave George the idea. Whoa. Never, let's say Tom never would have been Gatsby's enemy. Nick hadn't, put Daisy and Gatsby back in touch. So this counterclaim paragraph is going to be the hardest thing to write, the outline, but we need that as well. So again, I'm just going to reiterate, and this will be the last thing you'll see for today, so you can pause this and come back to it. By the end of Thursday, your outline must have a thesis, 3 reasons to support your thesis, 2 analysis notes per reason, and a counterclaim paragraph outline. If you have all these things done, not only will you get a good score on your outline, but you'll also be really set up to write a solid essay. As always, please email me or Mr. Herzog if you have any questions, and we hope that you do well in the outlines. Bye, everybody.